today I would like to talk with you guys about something I'm sure you guys will all agree with at the end of this, and that is year-round schooling. Now, if you're not sure what year-round schooling is, it is, so year-round schooling is going to school all year round, but having more frequent breaks. A student can benefit from this because they will experience less stress going back to school, and they will be able to remember what they have learned. Teachers will get paid the same. Usually a year-round school will go to school for 45 days and then have a 2 to 3 week break. Our traditional schooling of having a 3-month break was mainly for families to use their children to work on farms and use their time off as labor. Nowadays, let's face it, our society has changed and there is no demand for children to work out in the fields for labor like farming and stuff like that. We're not, at this day and age, we're just not doing that anymore. If we move into a year-long schooling, we will get vacations still, like we do now, but children will have far less time to sit around the house and get bored forgetting their material that they learned the previous year. Changing our school system into a year-round school versus the traditional 3-month summer break, which is so long, will help eliminate children forgetting what they learned the previous year. It will set them up for success when they plan to start going to college, because like college, there's no 3-month break where you just keep going unless you just decide to take a summer off. Students are usually so bored in the summer and spend most of their time on a tablet that basically brainwashes them into becoming zombies. If we change the traditional idea of a summer break into a year-round school, they will forget less and less, and they will be bored less and less, and they will be more prepared for college. I myself have 3 children. I really like to think that they would really benefit. I do think that they would benefit from a year-round school program. I can't tell you how many times I've heard, "Can I watch your phone this summer alone?" I plan to do all of these workbooks with them, but let's face it, that's hard. There's just not enough hours in a day to sit down and make them do what they are supposed to be doing in school. They don't listen to me like they do their teachers. I think having smaller breaks throughout the year would be super beneficial for their education and for my sanity. I love them, but they need structure, and I try to give them structure as much as I can, but I think the year-round schooling would be great for them. I understand that a year-round school may not be ideal for everyone and that it would take some getting used to. I think that would and could be beneficial for teachers and parents. Parents would no longer have to worry about their children forgetting material and worry about what they are going to do with their children for 3 whole months out of the year. Teachers also wouldn't have to waste the first part of the year reviewing what they went over the past year. The most popular form of year-round schooling is, like I said, the 45 days on and then the 15-day break. You will still get your usual holidays. They're still built into it, so don't fret just yet. Because of the breaks, students are still in school the same amount of time, just without the long summer break that causes them to lose all the information they have learned the previous year. A study that was conducted at Duke University showed students who attended year-round school had a learning advantage than those who attended a more traditional school with summer breaks. I have heard some students say it is harder because they can't get into the grind of schoolwork and then they have to break, but I have not heard any teachers think that this is a bad idea. Mary Brown, a middle school teacher in Wake County, where they do 3-week breaks occur after every 9 weeks, says she doesn't see it as a problem at her school. She says, "Our schedule offers the kids a break from school right when they need it." She says early this year, after their first 3-week break, she says the kids seemed refreshed. They didn't have the bored, glazed over look of kids who had been in school for weeks on end with no break in sight. So that brings back to a good point. Students would be more refreshed, and teachers would be too. Students would be given the opportunity to learn more things because they wouldn't have to spend a month refreshing over old material. I can remember being in school and having the break and going back to school and seriously not remembering anything. I would remember my reading and my English, but my math, I would have to review like a whole month just to catch back up. It was ridiculous. And it really stressed me out too. Teachers and students would not suffer from the burnout feeling they get from going straight through a school year. My personal experience with children who are in traditional school, meaning they go from August to May, excuse me, they say they get extremely bored during these months. I have to constantly entertain them, and I worry about them losing everything they've learned. I cannot force them to do extra schoolwork. I try to keep them to do their work, but I'm just not the type of mom where I have time to sit down and do crafts after crafts with them. I am actually very jealous of the crafty moms who I see on my Facebook page who are showing what they've done through the summer. I mean, I don't get me wrong, I play with my kids all the time. We go to the pool, but I don't sit down and teach them like I need to. I would like a year-round school so that my kids can get ahead of the education game. I hate the idea of them losing information and have to waste time to relearn the things that they've already learned. Next, I would like to point out how year-round schooling can benefit teachers. I have many teacher friends who I've spoken to about this subject. Every single one of them has said that they want year-round school. So aren't we listening to our teachers? My teacher friends have given me many reasons why they are for year-round schooling. One that struck me is they said that they can teach our kids more. When they don't have to spend a month reviewing what they forgot, they can go more in depth with subjects. This sounds like a no-brainer to me. In a blog that I stumbled upon that was written by psychologist Matthew Lynch stated that teachers were actually happier with year-round schooling because they were allowed more breaks in between grading periods, which means they could spend more time planning their lessons and they weren't spending all their time grading. Teachers would not get burned out, just like the students wouldn't get burned out. If they had a scheduled break every 45 days that they knew that was coming, they could look forward to a small break instead of counting down the days until May. A new term I learned while doing some research on year-round school is something called the summer slide. I have mentioned this before, but just to kind of recap, it is when students lose knowledge over the summer. It's a real thing. A study that was released in 2007 by The Ohio State University found there are really no differences in learning between students who attend school year-round and those who are on a traditional schedule. However, the National Summer Learning Association often says that decades of research that shows that it can take anywhere from 8 to 13 weeks at the beginning of every school year for teachers to get their students back up to speed and ready to learn new material. That's a whole 9 weeks period that we're using to review. That means the first 9 weeks, they're just reviewing. They're not learning anything new. That means that they are only learning new things for 9 weeks. Having a year-round school would give our teachers less time reviewing and more time actually learning new things. This next statement was a huge eye-opener when I read it. It is this. Either way, when it comes to learning and retention, students who attend year-round schools have nothing to lose but much to gain. The end thing right there is what really caught my eye. I'm going to repeat that. Students who attend year-round schools have nothing to lose and much to gain. A teacher friend that I spoke to about year-round school said that it would help her special needs students. Even though kids don't necessarily lose the information that they learn, they just have to spend roughly 8 to 13 weeks reviewing. Anyway, my teacher friend who I interviewed said that it does impact her special needs children. I found a study to back that up here. Minority students who speak English as a second language, economically disadvantaged students, and students with disabilities are most affected by the summer fallback. Studies have found that disadvantaged students lose about 27% of their learning gains in the summer months than their peers. 27%. That is a huge amount. These students need to be in school regularly. If I haven't given you enough reasons to want year-round school, let me give you one more that you may not have thought of. And I didn't think of it either until I started doing my research. As many of you know, obesity is a large problem in the United States. When I thought of year-round school, I did not think of children gaining weight as a problem, but it may be an answer to the obesity epidemic in America. We'll just ignore that part. I know my kids are constantly vegging out and having snacks because sometimes I just need them to leave me alone so I can get some work done. I'm in school and I work, and it's just a lot. My kids are constantly needing things from me. I know it's awful, but I sometimes let the TV babysit them, and I really hate that. I do. A recent Harvard University study found that school-age children tend to gain weight at a faster pace during the summer months than during the school year. Children today spend more time in sedentary activities like watching television or using mobile devices instead of playing outside or participating in active pursuits. Not only must kindergarten through 12th grade students relearn the academic items, but they must also shift their mentalities from less active to sedentary ones to sharp, alert learning models. That's a lot of things to have to go through. Having a year-round school would cut this out almost instantly. It doesn't mean that kids won't be kids anymore, but it will just give them less time to be able to live a sedentary lifestyle. Today at noon, I had to already lay down a rule of no phone and no TV and had to make my kids go outside and play outside. It's ridiculous. And I'm sure other parents are experiencing the same problem. The downtime of summer is really just hurting our kids and making them become TV zombies. Today we have discussed many reasons why year-round schooling could benefit our children and teachers. Teachers and children would no longer experience the burnout that traditional school brings. Children would be able to learn more by not having to review as long. Teachers could teach their students more. Children would not have as much time to veg out in front of a TV. Now, I understand that switching over to a year-round school would be difficult at first, but the advantages that it brings, the advantages that it brings would outweigh any of your negative thoughts. There is no need nowadays for child labor, and there is no reason why we shouldn't start year-round school all across the United States. Thank you.